In 2017, 28 transgender people in the United States lost their life due to murder, based on data analyzed by the Trans People of Color Coalition and the Human Rights Campaign. On average, that's nearly 2 murders per month. The majority of the victims died by either fatal gunshot wound, being stabbed, being burned alive, or even being pushed into a river. These violent acts disproportionately affect trans women of color. In November of 2017, a Mother Jones report found that 90% of transgender killings involved people of color. Undercounted statistics are common because local officials aren't required to report such crimes to any central database. And because police often misidentify trans people's names or genders, it makes it difficult to know whether there were more victims or not. It's truly up to advocacy groups to explore news reports and talk to the families and friends of the victims to get a precise number. Reports show that the main motive for these attacks spawned from hate. A 2016 election youth survey found that half of LGBTQ youth have taken steps to suppress their identity and go back in the closet. Beverly Tillery, the executive director of the New York City Anti-Violence Project, stated that since the 2016 presidential election, her organization had reported a spike in incidents of hate violence, both being homicides and other violent acts against transgender people, as well as members of the broader gay, lesbian, and bisexual community. This increase in violence, the report states, is fueled by anti-LGBTQ prejudice, racism, too easy to access guns, and increasing political attacks on the transgender community at both the state and federal level. President Trump's attempts to roll back protections for transgender students and banning transgender military service members have in turn shown an increase in transphobic attacks. One of those attacks occurred on June 26, 2017, when Ava LeRae Barron became the 14th and youngest murder victim, being only 17 at the time. An argument between her and Jaylen Burton Brown left Barron dead with a bullet wound in her chest. Local law enforcement and media outlets misreported Barron's gender and name, a trend that can have dangerous results. The Human Rights Campaign conducted a study showing that misgendering trans people can lead to more violence and lack of trust between the trans community and law enforcement. Monica Roberts, who serves as media chair for the Organization of Black Trans Women, said, "What saddens and infuriates us as an organization that seeks to represent and empower Black trans women is that Ava was just 17 years old and hadn't even had a chance to follow her dreams yet." An online obituary for Barron comprised of messages of friends remembering her as a social butterfly who was a brave and young woman who feared nothing, nobody, and especially not being herself. She would have turned 18 last January. Brown was ultimately arrested and jailed in Athens Clarke County Jail on charges of murder and aggravated assault. Unfortunately, 2018 has been disheartening for the trans community, as 6 people have already been murdered. Donations can be made to the Trans Women of Color Collective or the Transgender Legal Defense and Education Fund. Thank you, I'm Brendan Moreno, and stay safe, Palm Beach.